What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you're all doing well. In today's video we are working on the Camaro and we got a lot to do in this video, so let's get going. So as I've mentioned in the last couple Camaro videos, the front tires needed to be replaced and also one of the front wheels needed to be replaced since it was missing a chunk out of it. I wanted to match what was on the rear, so I just bought the same tire. They're just Falcons, and then I also bought a new wheel. The tires were about 75 bucks a piece and the wheel came out to about 85 bucks on eBay. I just got back from having the new tires mounted and I ended up just having them rebalance all four tires, and I had them static balance them so the weights are all on the inside. I am gonna put the two new tires on the rear of the car and then just rotate the tires that were in the rear to the front. So now I just need to reinstall the wheels and the wheel and tire situation on the Camaro should be good to go. Okay guys, wheels and tires are back on and buttoned up, and I'm pretty happy about this because this means I can drive the Camaro on the freeway now. I didn't dare do it with that thing, so that's pretty cool. Check out the meat in the back. When I had the tires balanced, the tire shop said that one of these ones in the front wouldn't balance, so I'm really hoping that it's not going to be a big issue and that I won't have to replace it, but we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted on that. So they look good. I did check the brake pads on all four corners as I was doing this and they all look really good, so I'm really happy about that. They probably have about 60% life left, so that's awesome. So now let's go under the hood, and what I want to do is take apart this intake. I showed you guys in a previous video that this air filter is not attached to the intake tube. Probably can't see that very well because it's dark down there, but I want to fix that. I want to clean the air filter. I want to clean the mass airflow sensor, and I also want to install a couple things. So we have an airfoil, we have this LT1 cover plate for the throttle body, just to add a little flare under here because it's pretty boring, and we're going to do the throttle body coolant bypass mod as well. So I'm going to disconnect the battery and start taking things apart. Okay, for the most part everything has been disconnected and taken out. I have not disconnected the throttle body coolant lines yet, and I have not fished out the air filter yet, so we'll get to that. And first let's install the airfoil. Now before you guys go down to the comments and say, Jeff, this is a waste of money, or Jeff, this doesn't add any power, check out the article that I linked below to superchevy.com where they dyno tested this little guy on an LT1 engine and determined that it does improve performance. It does add a few horsepower and a few foot-pounds of torque, and they said it's a great bang for your buck mod. I went over how to install this when I installed it on my C4 Corvette, but just to show you again, this airfoil just rests right in the throttle body right there, and it's just supposed to smooth out the airflow. And then you have this screw that just goes right in there and then through the throttle body into this little bit that rests down inside the throttle body, and tighten it down, and that's what holds it in place. They're about 35 bucks, and as you can tell from the superchevy.com article, it's a great mod. Okay, so now let's move on to the throttle body cover plate. So as I said before, this engine bay is a little boring. There aren't any logos or badges anywhere. And if you take a look under the hood of my Corvette, it's got a few cool things. So there's a Corvette logo on the valve cover right there. You've got the tune port injection text right there. On this throttle body cover, you have this really cool badge right here that shows where the Corvette was made, and I dig that stuff. That stuff is cool. and there's just nothing under here. Granted, I do think some people and some companies overdo it a little, but me personally, I like to see a thing or two. So let's go ahead and throw this on. I did wipe things down in there, so it's clean. And the kit comes with the cover plate, a new gasket, and a new set of screws. Okay guys, check it out. I think it looks awesome. I think it's just what this engine bay needed. Okay, so now let's work on the throttle body coolant bypass mod. And basically all I need to do is disconnect this coolant line from the throttle body, and then this coolant line right there from the throttle body, and just splice them together. I need to figure out the best way to route them, but it shouldn't be too difficult. I bought this little kit from Classic Industries for about 20 bucks. So we'll see how it works out. Nice. Nothing came out for the most part. All right, so you guys will probably have a hard time seeing me remove this other line, but it's right there, and I did have to remove a couple connectors to get better access to it. So I'll try and get it off, and hopefully it isn't too difficult. All right guys, I'm kind of struggling here. So there is the hose clamp I'm trying to get off, and I have been able to move it, but I'm just not able to move it enough to get it off. So I'm plugging away at that. I probably need a special tool that I don't have, but it's just on there really tight, and even when I squeeze it to make the clamp loosen a little bit, it's still pretty tight. So I'm just gonna keep working at it, and hopefully I can get it off soon. Well, I got the clamp off. I don't even think I need this kit, you guys, because you have this line right here coming from the radiator. It used to be connected to that nipple right there from the throttle body. You have this hose that was right there, but this hose went from here to right there. I'm just thinking take this hose from here to there. That makes total sense, huh? Anyway, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to plug into that line right there. So as you can see from the carnage right here, this thing was really on there. It was like totally caked and burned onto this nipple right there. So it took forever to get it off, but I'm glad it's off. So now we can finish the job. All right, so I'm just gonna cut this line just right there before the little elbow. All right, trimming it up a little bit. All right, I think that's as good as it's gonna get. Before I put that line on, I'm just gonna put these little caps on the coolant ports in the throttle body just to keep anything from getting in there. All right, you guys, it's done. So I got the little cover right there on that port, and then the other one right there on that port, and that line connected right there. So throttle body coolant bypass is done. This port did end up leaking some coolant, and as you can see, there's some on the ground. I'm really hoping and praying that it didn't leak behind the water pump and get on the OptiSpark. I did have some towels underneath it, but you never know. And obviously it was a lot of coolant. So speak some peace to me, guys, down in the comments. Tell me that it didn't get back there and everything's gonna be okay. I am gonna send that kit back because I obviously didn't end up using it, and I want my 20 bucks back. And here's one last look. of how I routed the line. So this is coming from the radiator, and then I plugged it straight into this coolant line right there. I don't know where it goes, somewhere back in the depths of the engine. So we are running out of daylight, guys, so I need to hurry and clean the mass airflow sensor and fish out this K&N air filter and clean it so it can dry overnight. So I'm gonna get going on that. All right, so the mass airflow sensor is clean. I'm gonna let it dry for a minute, and now I need to fish that guy out. Okay guys, I got the air filter out, and as you can see, it's a hot mess, so I'm gonna go in the backyard and clean it up. All right guys, the filter is all clean. I didn't film me cleaning it just because there's not much to see. You basically just spray this K&N cleaning solution all over the filter inside and out, give it about 30 to 60 seconds to soak in, and then rinse the filter from the inside out with water. And I'm gonna let it dry overnight, and then tomorrow I'm going to spray on this filter oil and reinstall the filter. As you can see, I reinstalled the rest of the intake and it's looking pretty good. I really love that throttle body cover right there. And I'm officially out of gas for today, guys. I'm really tired, so I'm gonna call it a day and we'll pick things back up tomorrow. Okay guys, it's the next day. The filter was dry this morning and I applied some of the filter oil, so we're ready to put this back on. This will be kind of a tricky maneuver just because of how the filter is placed. I need to kind of spread these panels apart and snake the filter in my arm up there, and I'll probably have my wife tighten it down while I hold it in place. So fingers crossed it works. All done. Got the filter attached to the intake tube. It is a pain in the butt. I had to have my wife help me, and I did have to remove a bunch of screws down here to get this panel down so I could fit the filter in my arm up there. It did take a little bit of time, but it's on there and I'm happy. I'm gonna button everything up down there. I'm gonna reconnect the battery and make sure she starts. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.